Hello, and welcome back to a brand new day of free-to-play here on Magic the Gathering Arena. Get the dish on the latest with me, Lord Roguefish. We're going to be doing another quick draft of Phyrexia, All Will Be One. If you've seen my last couple of quick draft videos, I go into great detail about the concept of potential, which is valuing cards based on what is the likelihood this card will win the game by itself compared to the other cards in the pack. Now I'm going to try to go through this one a little bit faster than some of the prior videos, but if you would like a longer explanation of my thought process, check out those older videos. I go into great detail about what potential means. So let's dive right in. Alright, Blackleaf Cliffs, no potential to win the game by itself. They had Onslaught, needs help. It's not bad, it's a lot of damage, but maybe not 20. Logbook, card advantage, and potential are kind of different axes. Potential doesn't really care about card advantage so much. Charforger, not bad. 3 power and 4 toughness across 2 bodies, and could potentially also be card advantage. Overall, representing 3 power and 4 toughness for 3 mana, it's good. Flincing Raptor, this is good as well. If you can get the pump and flying out of it for another toxic creature, then it's almost like the Flincing Raptor has haste. So if you can get that ability of the Flincing Raptor to trigger, then a hasty 2/2 flyer for 3 is a pretty good clock. Wins in 9 turns instead of 10 in that regard. So, not bad. Zealot's Conviction, if you can get the Corrupted to turn on, then this wins with damage as if it was a 2-power creature with haste for 1 mana, which is very powerful. But this doesn't add any poison counters to the opponent, so it's kind of an awkward card in that turning on the Corrupted doesn't advantage the clock that this card enables. Just giving something +2/+1 in first strike is a really good bonus, though. Now, this card's not bad, if you turn on the Corrupted. Having Flash also makes it a combat trick. Aspirant's Ascent, no potential on its own. Mesmerizing Dose, no potential on its own. Bonepicker Scourge, decent. Now if you turn on the Corrupted, Lifelink makes it a very good card at racing. The Death Touch means it's more likely to get through, even against a large flyer or reach creature. No potential, no potential. Lowish potential. Can be a source of card advantage with other mirror. Card advantage, so the logbook doesn't kill the opponent on its own. Mirror Kinsmith at least has 3 power, so it is some threat on the battlefield. Creatures that draw cards are better than just, spells that don't deal any damage or poison that draw cards. And left unchecked, it could, attack the opponent 7 times and win the game. Mirror Kinsmith's not amazing or anything, though. No potential, no potential. Okay. So this isn't the greatest pack here in terms of potential. I think probably the strongest cards are Charforger and Flincing Raptor. It's hard to say which one is going to be the better path to victory. Don't know which colors are open at this point. Charforger's the faster clock. Flincing Raptor's more likely to get through, and it also has a toxic clock in addition to a damage clock. As far as signaling, either way, if we take the Charforger, black only looks open from the Bonepicker Scourge. If we take the Raptor, white has not really much going on here. I don't know, guys. I'm going to take the Raptor here. I think it could go either way. Alright, Encroaching Mycosynth, no potential. Blade Ambassador, decent for its mana cost. Attack 7 times, win the game. Can be indestructible once. For its mana cost, this is a high potential card. No potential, decent. Could go all in on the Flincing Raptor route. Mandible Justiciar. If we get into an artifact build, this can be a decent threat. If you're fairly often getting it to 3 power, then it's good for its mana cost. If you're not triggering it, then it's not that great. It does help with damage racing, though. Chrome Prowler, square deal. Scrap Trap, square deal. Shouldered's Head Cleaver, square deal, but towards the good side because of Menace. The Toxic 2 is sort of like it has 4 power for killing the opponent. And I've mentioned that that's when you deal poison damage, that's damage that can't be healed. So it's better than regular damage. Testament Bearer, square deal, it's better as a blocker than an attacker. Molten Rebuke, no potential. Oil Gorger Troll, is reasonable. The life gain and the card draw, it's hard to measure with potential. So you kind of measure it more as a 3-4, but creatures that draw cards, as I said, are better than spells that draw cards. Rustvine Cultivator low, we're only going to take cultivators after we know we've got a high mana curve. We need to fill in our 1-drops. Mere Custodian, low potential, it's a very middling card. Well, the white cards look good here. This Ambassador is not going to come back, but if we take 2 Flincing Raptors, we would much rather not be in artifacts. We would much rather be in Toxic. That would probably either be white-black or white-green. With I'm going to say a distant outlier of white-blue. White-blue is really an artifact deck. Gonna take the Raptor, though. I mean, the Head Cleaver's a pretty solid card here as well. Just at the moment, though, I'm not feeling like spreading out into other colors yet. Oof, Flesh Cutter. So this is not good when you're behind, it is great when you're at parity or ahead. If you're in a position to be able to equip this and attack, you start running downhill towards the opponent, just snowballing the game. If you're behind, not so great. So it's not always good, but the potential on this card to win the game by itself is sky high. As soon as you make a Might, now you've got another creature to equip it to, etc. No potential. Battle Chair. Pretty threatening. Yeah, this is a pretty high potential card. 4/4 Trampler, and then you can turn your other creatures into giant tramplers. Not bad at all. First couple of picks are more poisonish, but if green is really open, if this is the most threatening card in the pack, we might take it. Dancer, very low potential. None, low, square deal. None, high for its mana cost. Branch Blight Stalker. This is a high potential card for its mana cost. And the Lattice Blade Mantis. Okay. So I usually go with the lower mana value card that has high potential when I can, rather than the high mana value card. Late in the draft, especially as you're getting into pack 3, the 5 and 6 drops start becoming plentiful towards the end of the pack. You can pick them up pretty late. it's hard to find really threatening 1 and 2 mana creatures. And they would synergize very well with the Flincing Raptor. I wasn't sure if we would pick up into black or green or a, distant outlier of blue. Maybe if there were like thrumming birds and things to proliferate our counters. Right at the moment, I'm going to take the Stalker. It goes with the Toxic theme, and for its mana value, it's an extremely threatening card. Flesh Cutter could table all the way back to us, with a little bit of luck. Alright, no potential, low potential. Yeah, it's got the Toxic Clock as well, and it's a mana ramp piece. So it could be a role player. Bardiche, Squirtle. Especially since you can re-equip it later. It's not just a 4/3 with Vigilance. It makes all of your other creatures very threatening when you re-equip it. Sinew Dancer, low. Squirtle, Escaped Experiment, low. None, none, low. Medium, low. Okay, well, I think this is between the Bardiche and the Mere Convert. I think for the Toxic theme we've already got here, I'm still open to change. If these colors end up not being open, Mere Convert will be a decent pick, because Mere Convert can go into basically any deck as a fair 2-drop that can ramp your mana in any color. I don't mind picking it here at all. It's almost certain to make the final deck no matter what color we are. Feed the Infection, none. Zealot's Conviction, reasonable. Has a weird tension between the corrupted and the non-toxic damage it deals, but... Let's draw Skullbomb. None, Dress none, Scrap Trap, Squirtle, Axiom Engraver low, Four-Chamber Centurion fair, decent. Skullbomb none, Oil Gorger decent. Okay. So... the best cards in the pack are the Troll, the Zealot's Conviction, the Scrap Trap, and the Centurion. This is coming pretty late on the Troll, even though we don't have oil. If I take the Troll here, I'm sending a strong signal that green is not open. If I take the Zealot's Conviction, that sends a signal that white isn't open, but people might mistakenly think that green is unwanted. And I don't love auras, even when they're combat tricks. We don't have any oil at the moment, but we could later. So I'm going to take this instead of branching out into a new color just yet. The Scrap Trap is a little bit tempting here. So is the Conviction. Rebirth, none. Sleeper, none. Skywarden, high. Double red. Red does look pretty open. There's something to think about here. This would be a good moment to pivot. There's no white cards. There are still some lingering green cards. Not the best. The Canopy's not bad. I mean, it doesn't have potential to win the game. But just, if you're looking to throw an interactive piece into the deck, it's not a bad card. Titanic Growth's pretty bad. This pack is deep on red cards, though. So the Cackler's only really good in an oil deck, otherwise it's a very middling card. Sawblade Scamp is not that exciting. It's got a little bit of, late game reach damage to the face. Skywarden's quite good, though. Alright. Prism would be kind of a safe pick. If I want to hedge my bets and try to stay into, the colors I've already chosen. I'm going to take the Sky Warden here, though. It's the highest potential in the pack. If red is really open, this might be the moment to go red. We'll see. And Oil Gorger Troll would work well into a red-green deck. Mere Convert would be fine there as well. And Branchblight Stalker at least would be a good blocker. Trade's just fine at the 2-mana mark. Might not have much use for the Toxic. I'm going to take the Sky Warden here and see what happens. Alright. Fair number of red cards here again, most of them not very good. Cackler's alright. Gets much better with oil. Curator's not too bad, but that's not much blue to be seeing this late in the pack. Blue's, as far as I can tell, it's not one of the stronger colors. It's also not what I've chosen up to this point. Meldweb Curator's a fine card, though. 3/4 for 4 is quite respectable. Regrowing an instant or sorcery, you can't rely on doing that, but it could be useful. Nahiri's Sacrifice, I think, is pretty bad. You need to sacrifice something that has a real mana value, not just a token. So you're really hoping to take out at least 2 things with it just to be at parity as far as card disadvantage. I don't like it. Only hits creatures, not planeswalkers can't go face. Free from Flesh, I don't usually prioritize tricks like this. It would go fine into an oil deck. We don't know that we're doing that yet, though. These have no potential. Mirror Custodian's very middling. So I could take the Mirror Custodian to keep my colors open because things are so uncertain at this stage of the draft. And it could maybe make the cut into the final deck if we're having trouble with finding playables. Usually when you prioritize high potential cards, you don't have too much trouble with packing playables into your final deck. This is a pretty weak pack. I'm going to take the Kuldotha Cackler. This is a bit of a risk. I really don't know if we're pivoting into red yet, and it's not that great of a red card. But I like some of the green that we've chosen already. And red feels open, just from the depth of red we've seen in the packs. I'm gonna take it here, see what happens. Okay, I don't see any red in this pack. Every pack could have an anomaly, though. Sometimes you get a pack where there's, one card of that color in it. Alright, Logbook, don't love that. Strider's fair. Yeah, it can turn into a creature once. If you proliferate, it can do it more than once, and then you have to crew it. Crewing it's not the end of the world, but you're using some of the potential of one of your other cards to turn on the potential of this one. It's not the worst. I like that it has Vigilance. The more I play in recent Standard Magic, the more I'm starting to see the value in Vigilance creatures. Blue's a long way off my radar at the moment, though. Duress and Offer Immortality, no potential. Basilisk is decent. Decent potential. It's also just, good blocker. Death Touch is nice. Dune Mover could potentially go into any deck that we make. It's not a great card, though. It would work with a Toxic theme. And I'm not going to say the dream is dead. White has not been open so far. Right, we took a couple of Flincing Raptors and white just kind of dried up. So I don't know if the white-green Toxic deck is going to be a thing here. If we go red-green, Dune Mover is going to be very subpar at best. Could get you a land drop if you need it. And the Mere Kinsmith, which I don't hate. I don't hate Mere Kinsmith. Some people are really low on this card. I think it's, it's alright. We do have a Mirror already in the deck. And we don't have any 4-drops. This wouldn't be a terrible card to fetch up the Mirror Convert. Yeah, it's between the Basilisk and these artifact creatures here, I think. I don't know that I'm willing to go blue at this junction. This juncture? I should look that up. Anyway. I feel like the Basilisk is the better card here. I'm gonna take it. Alright, no potential. This is a little late for Zealot's Conviction. I mean, maybe other people are also not valuing this card very highly. First white card we've seen in a while. Aspirant's Ascent, no potential. Bone Picker Scourge, this is decent. This is a decent black card to be seeing this late. Another Mirror Kinsmith, and the Dross Pets. I've not taken any black cards yet. Man, life is hard. Really having trouble finding our lane, as they say. Solidifying exactly what color we're going to be. The Scourge is probably the best card in this pack. The Zealot's Conviction is probably better than the Kinsmith, but the Kinsmith does have a target in our deck already. And I'm really uncertain about our colors. Taking Zealot's Conviction here seems like it would be pretty risky. I have no idea if we're even going to be toxic. This would be a bad card if we're not toxic. And white hasn't seemed very open. Black might be. I've seen a few black cards coming through. I'm going to take the Mirror Kinsmith here. I don't know for sure if it'll make the final deck, but it's a 4-drop. Has a target already. Keeps our colors open. Okay, there's another mirror if we want to make the mirror deck. Doesn't sound very amazing. No potential. Decent. No potential. Could help us ramp. Could be an oil deck piece. And middling. I have some green cards already, and this does synergize nicely with the Oil Gorger Troll. Also could work with the Kuldotha Cackler. Scrap Trap is the best card in this pack for potential. Pivoting into black here would be such a big swing, it could really backfire. I think the Cultivator's the take here. Seeing this Molten Rebuke this late feels to me like red is fairly open. So I think I can find more of the cards I want for the deck. I'm going to take the Cultivator here. I still think red-green might be the way. Okay, that is a gift. This late, pick 11? Pick 11? I mean, the Grimnark's good too. This is kind of a signal that black might be open as well. Grimnarks do tend to go late though. A lot of people don't like 6-drops in this format, but Lattice Blade Mantis, this should not be going this late, really. There's an easy pick there. Alright, these are blue. Expand the Sphere at least has the chance of making it into the deck. So we'll take it. Duress in the Furnace. There's a chance we'll take the Furnace in the main deck. We'll see. I don't love the tap lands. Okay, Titanic Growth. Probably sideboard card. Nahiri could be good, but not in this deck. Not really. Don't think she's going to end up being in our colors either. Ambulatory Edifice is a really nice card, but if we pass it, we're sending a strong signal that black is open. And that might be exactly what we want to do here. Cankerbloom is great. 3 power for 2 mana, can sacrifice to do all these neat things. I think Cankerbloom's very good. It's nice to be able to pick a high potential card that also can act like a spell, like a removal spell or an interactive piece. Paladin of Predation, this is probably the highest potential card. Maybe just about in the format. There might be some rares and mythics that are higher. This kills the opponent in 2 hits. It's an extremely dangerous card, and we do have a piece of mana ramp with the Cultivator. No potential... questionable. Raptor's kind of low. You need to really be able to proliferate onto it to keep it up in the potential of a Wind Drake. I've explained that before. No potential, decent. Scourge. Yeah, we're going to send a clear signal that black is open here. Bladegraft Aspirant don't have any equipment yet. And white hasn't seemed very open, so we'll pass this one along. There's probably an equipment deck somewhere out there. Centurion's fine. If we're looking at red-green oil, this would be fine. I think the Cankerbloom's better, though. Hazardous Blast, no potential. This is kind of, like an overrun effect, something to try to get in to win the game. Could also kill off a lot of mites and little things. Little 1-toughness flyers. No potential, and we can push the mirror theme. The more Kinsmiths you have, then the more you get. Really, if you had a lot of them, they'd probably be pretty decent. But I think it's between Cankerbloom and the Paladin of Predation here. I don't think there's any chance Cankerbloom is going to table all the way back around to us. I think there is a chance Paladin of Predation could. I like taking the lower mana cost high potential card when I can. So I'm going to do that here. Low mana cost ones are more rare to find. Look at the green. Okay. Decent white card here, but I think white's pretty well called for in the draft picks here. Not a lot of black here either. This isn't, a bad black spell to most people's reckoning. Chimney Rebel's actually square deal. It's quite good. But look at these green cards. We've got the Basilisk, we've got this Mantis. Mantis is quite good. Oil Gorger Troll is decent. He'll probably work well with the deck we're cobbling together here. It's starting to lean towards oil. I think this is between Cankerbloom and the Lattice Blade Mantis. Lattice Blade Mantis wins in 5 attacks. Cankerbloom wins in 7. Cankerbloom comes down 2 turns earlier. Can interact with the board. Man. Tough, tough, tough. I think I'd take the Cankerbloom here, though. Not for sure about that. Ooh, Incubation Sac. This represents a ton of potential. It's 9 power and toughness for 13 mana paid in installments. I did the math on this once, and it's good. You gotta pay a lot of mana into it, but you get a lot out of it at the same time as you're doing that. Convert would be fine. Actually, a little bit of white showing up here. I think it's too late, though. I think I'm not going to go back now at this point. Mantis? So, Incubation Sac and Mantis both kind of act like 4-drops. And they both have oil counters, so which one you'd rather go with? It's kind of up in the air. I think the Sac is maybe the better card. It's got the better clock. Oil Gorger Troll will be just fine for us. It'd be nice to pick up one copy of Thirsting Roots. This might table back around. Yeah, I think I take the Incubation Sac here. I think this is the highest potential card. Alright. Sizer Glider. Yep. Blue feels a little open, black feels a little open, white feels choked off. But there are still good red and green cards that are coming through. So am I going to stay red-green? I've only got the 2 red cards right now, and the Furnace. I don't know. I really don't know. I think the Chimney Rabble is higher potential than the Oil Gorger Troll. It's got a faster clock, right? It comes down with haste, represents 4 power. This one comes down for 5 without haste, represents 3 power. Starting to look good on 4-drops here. Might not run the Kinsmith, but the Incubation Sac counts as a lot of 4-drops. Synergy-wise, I'm starting to lean towards the Oil Gorger Troll here. It sends a very clear message that green is not open. And most of the cards we've chosen are green. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in green, and this is going to make the deck. Ichor Plate Golem. This would be good if we stick in the oil theme. This would be quite good. Axiom Engraver. This could start to be good once we pick up some cards like Ichor Plate Golem. Can't value it that way until we have it, though. There's another Oil Gorger Troll. But how many do you run? How many do you run? I think I take the Ichor Plate Golem here. I feel like oil is where this deck is heading now. We still have a reasonable number of toxic creatures, but things are moving away from that. Some white, not really the best cards though. Scrap Trap's alright. This is pretty late for Tyrannic's Atrocity to be going around. Doesn't fit with our oil theme. Already have some 5-drops, but this is a very potent card. Haste makes the clock faster. The Toxic 3 is like it has 6 power for killing the opponent with Toxic. Pretty sure we take the Tyrannics compared to the other picks here. Alright. So, you could really embrace ramp. If we embrace ramp and oil, I mean, I don't know if you run to expand the sphere, but it would certainly get us up to the high mana values. I like picking cards that have their own ability to win the game, though. White feels more open here, oddly enough. Too late for white. Yeah, just the 2 Flincing Raptors. I could go in for Indoctrination Attendant. Double white pips. And I think this is between the Centurion and the Oil Gorger Troll. And if we're not using the Flincing Raptor, let's move them to the sideboard here. We've chosen a decent number of cards at this point to go with an oil theme. That's really leading me away from white. With that in mind, we don't have that many 3-drops. And we've got plenty of 5s. So I think I take the Forge Hammer Centurion here to fill out the curve. 3 power for 3 is a fair card. It can get oil counters, and it can make creatures not able to block, which might let damage through at some points. It's a fair card. It's a fine card. Alright. Bladed Ambassador. This is really late for a Bladed Ambassador to be going around. But if white is choked off in pack 1, it makes sense that it'll be somewhat open in pack 2, and they'll be choked off again in pack 3. This would be a bad time to pivot into white. Really, one of the only other cards with high potential here. I mean, if you had a lot of Proliferate, Scheming Aspirant could do good work for you, but that would be a lot of Proliferate. I have Malcator could be good with a lot of artifacts. And absent of that, Sky Scythe Engulfer is by far the best potential card in this pack. I've already got an Autonomous Furnace. I'm not sure how I feel about the tap lands. I'm going to take this Sky Scythe Engulfer. Ooh, Paladin of Predation. Okay, there's also this Forge Hammer Centurion, goes with the oil theme. Works nicely with the Ichor Plate Golem, the Oil Gorger Trolls, and such things. Yeah, pretty sure it's between the Centurion and the Paladin of Predation. If I take Paladin of Predation here, the curve is quite top-heavy. We'll probably want to pick up more Rustvine Cultivators or anything else that's a mana accelerator. Expand the Sphere would probably stay in the deck if I take the Paladin here. 3-drops are okay at the moment, and usually you can find some iffy 3-drops later into a pack. We've got all of pack 3 ahead of us still. I'm going to take the Paladin. It's got much higher potential than this Centurion. We've got a couple of ramp cards already. I think we can get there. Alright, Basilisk and Oil Gorger Troll. I'll say Mirror Kinsmith and the Atlas are not totally out of the running. The Atlas is a ramp piece, but I think the Basilisk and the Troll are roughly kind of in a similar region as far as potential. And the Troll synergizes more with the deck we're building. I don't know that the Kinsmiths are going to make the final cut. I'm going to take the Troll. My goodness, that would be a lot of trolls to pick. You can only have so many. I think the one of Thirsting Roots here, having 1 copy can let us keep a hand that's light on mana. And then if land, is not what we need at the time, this can be a Proliferate, which goes with the oil theme. Or it could, bump up a poison counter. I think 1 copy of the Roots is fine here. Could take Dune Mover just to get another 2-drop. Let's see, we've got 4 2-drops here at the moment. We've got a 1-drop creature. Really don't like Dune Mover, though. I think 1 copy of Thirsting Roots is fine. I'm not sure if I want to commit to the 4th Oil Gorger Troll here. Yeah. You need things up and down the curve. Alright, these aren't really for us. I'll take the Mere Custodian. There is a chance, if we're light on 3-drops, that we could need this. Okay, Canopy and Dune Mover. Am I going to snub the Dune Mover for a Carnivorous Canopy after all that I have said about potential? Dune Mover has some potential, Canopy does not. No, I think the safe play here is to fill out another 2-drop and get rid of it later when we find a better one. Hey, got a canopy anyway. Phyrexia Obliterator? Well, that's a fantastic card for some other deck. I'm taking this draft seriously. I'm trying to teach you not to rare draft. I want to teach you how to try to win in Limited. So I am not going to rare draft here. I would like to have it in my collection, though. If the rest of the pack was garbage, then I might very well consider it. We'll see what else is in here. Reservoir. How many oil cards do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have 9 oil cards at the moment. 9's quite a bit. It's a pretty strong sub-theme. I don't know if it's enough to take a Churning Reservoir, though. I think the deck is a little too scattered on the theme at the moment to take this Churning Reservoir. If it comes back around, I'll consider it then. Slaughter Singer is a great card. Fantastic card. It's much too late to be looking back into white, though. Even though I don't have very many red cards, and I could force white back in again, I've moved more into an oil theme at this point. And I think it would probably be a mistake to question that choice this late in the draft. At some point you have to pick a lane. We're in pack 3, so... Injector is not the worst piece of equipment, but... don't love it. Yeah, I'm going to try to look more at cards in the colors I've chosen. Predation Steward. This would go with the oil theme. It would be a 2-drop, would, probably bump that Dune Mover out. That's a reason to consider it, I guess. Having the trick is nice. There are some ways to proliferate, like the Thirsting Roots, and expand the sphere. We don't have a lot of proliferate. Oh, the Canker Blooms can sack to proliferate. Probably wouldn't do that, but it could happen. Atrocity is a really powerful card. I'm thick on 5-drops, though. The top end of my curve is pretty well filled out. Near Custodian. Yeah, I think the card the deck wants here is probably the Predation Steward. It fits with the theme, solidifies oil a little bit more, makes the Ichor Plate Golem better. Would make the Churning Reservoir a better pick if it comes back around. I will say Hexgold Slash is one of the best removal spells in the format. If I were to prioritize a removal spell, Hexgold Slash would probably be the one. But that's not how I make my picks, and I'm taking the Predation Steward. None. Expand the Sphere does synergize with the deck, though. We've got a high curve, and things that might like to proliferate. Tainted Observer, it's for somebody else. A couple of decent white cards. Black cards. Engraver's starting to look better now that we have the Golem. Alright, if we can turn this into a 2/4, that's a much more reasonable 2-drop. And then it also can, rummage for us. I like that. Centurion's good. Lattice Blade's probably so strong I can't ignore it. This could force the Kinsmith out of the deck. works with the oil theme. Yeah, I think the Last Blade Mantis is the take here. Okay. Basically no green except for this Ruthless Predation, which wouldn't be a bad choice. In fact, the red's not very good here either. Don't really want another Dune Mover. Looking at the assembled options here, don't really have equipment. So this is a very so-so creature without equipment. Alright. I think I've got a lot of playables now at this point, and I think I can spare a spot to take a piece of removal. When all of the options are this bad in the rest of the picks. I don't have the color fixing. My Mere Convert is one of my only color fixers here. I don't have the color fixing to make off-color picks like Mir and Bardiche, and I don't think it's good enough to go into 3 colors. I'm going to take the Ruthless Predation. You know, I'd much rather take creatures that win the game, but I think this will make the deck, so. Oh, Scrap Gorger and the Mantis. This is going to be a hard one. Alright, Armored Scrap Gorger's really nice. We do need the ramp in this deck. And it makes oil counters. Yeah, this is probably the take here. Nothing wrong with the Mere Convert. It's just fine. Doesn't synergize with the deck particularly, though. This is another source of mana acceleration, which the one we have we might keep. Plague Nurse is decent, probably not in this deck, though. Everyone snubs this card, it's just fine. You know, if you're trying to poison the opponent, Plague Nurse is good. A 3-4 is nothing to sneeze at. Toxic 2 is nothing to sneeze at either. Her activated ability can make combat math hard, because you can't let the toxic creatures through. Last Blade Mantis is good. I have a couple of them already, though. I mean, another one might not go amiss, but the curve on this deck is very high, and I think the Scrap Gorger synergizes nicely. We're going to take the Armored Scrap Gorger. And turning into a 3-3 for 2 mana is high potential as well. Okay. Not a lot of stuff in our colors here. Couple pieces of equipment, though. Free from Flesh works synergy-wise with the deck that we're building. And the synergy is starting to get thick enough to consider it. Normally I don't start considering these cards until there's a lot of synergy in the deck, but now I'm starting to reach that point. Other main card that's in contention is probably the Volshock Splitter. Just does another 4-drop here. You can move it around to make your other creatures more threatening. Yeah, this deck's getting enough oil. I think the Free from Flesh might be the better choice overall for the deck that's coming together. So eventually synergy can start to win out over potential. Blue's going pretty deep here. Often happens to blue in this format. Alright, looking at Shrapnel Slinger. I like the 2-drops. 2-drops are pretty dense at this point. Pretty good. This one can be a piece of removal, but at a cost. I think it's more towards the Centurion or the Furnace Skull Bomb. Now, if I had something like, oh, the red 3-mana artifact kicks out token creatures, then I might start taking Skull Bombs to pump that thing up, but Incubation Sac is probably one of the stronger cards in the deck for just putting oil counters on. It's also nice to have ways to get oil counters on the Ichor Plate Golem, because then it buffs itself. Centurion's just a really solid pick here, though. Good 3-drop. Might not have to run, you know, like a Mirror Custodian or something. I think it's the tank. Oh! Oh, look at this pack. Holy moly. Okay. So I don't think I need another Paladin of Predation. I have got great drops up in the 5, 6, 7 spots here. If I get up to that mana, probably doing fine. And the Toxic doesn't really synergize much. Battle Chair, I think, is potentially a better card because it can make all of your creatures so threatening. It takes a lot of mana, but once you reach that point, you can just keep pushing stuff through. Rustvine Cultivator is great with the oil theme and give us more mana ramp. How much mana ramp do we have? Roots can find a land. There's Cultivator. So, kind of 2, 3, 4 if the Convert makes it. 5 with Expand the Sphere. 5 ramp cards in a limited deck, that's probably a pretty good amount. I tend to see Cultivators coming really late. The Battle Chair, this feels so powerful. And I like that it's 6 mana and not 7 in this case. If we get to 7, we can start equipping this around. I'm going to take the Battle Chair here. Jailer, no potential. Some white cards. Maze's Mantle isn't the worst. You don't get the hexproof unless the creature has Toxic. Plague Nurse is a really solid 4-drop. Well, there aren't that many 4-drops here. It might not make the final cut, but I like it better than the Maze's Mantle. They've done a good job of making auras into combat tricks in this set. I'm still not big on it, though. Just in general. Still a good chance I'll end up being card disadvantage at some point. If you manage to blow out an opponent with a combat trick with it, then you might get your value out of it. But Plague Nurse seems like a really sure bet. It was really good stats for a 4-drop. There's that Churning Reservoir. There's that Churning Reservoir. The Atrocity made it back around. Okay. I think there's enough oil going on at this point, at this step, that the Churning Reservoir might, maybe, make it in. Okay. I think I take an oil creature here. I don't hate Expand the Sphere, but I'd rather pick something that can win the game on its own. I'm going to move the Dune Mover to the sideboard. I don't think it's going to make it in anymore. I'm also going to move this Mirror Custodian. I think its time has passed. And I'm going to move the Mirror Kinsmith out of the way. Start paring down some stuff. See what we really need. I don't know if the Convert's going to make it in. It's going to be less mana ramp. Pretty good with the 2 drops there. 3 drops. Not sure if the Canopy will make it in. Not sure about the Basilisk either. Gets counters when creatures or artifacts die. Already got 2 of them. Well, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I'm going to take the Engraver here. I think the potential deck synergies could be really nice. I want to have it as an option when I'm doing the deck building. Alright, none of these are especially good, so I'm going to take the uncommon. Furnace Skullbomber, there's a chance it could make it up. Neither of these are going to make it in. Take the uncommon. And Meltwater Strider. Okay. So as you can see, when you prioritize concept of potential, you end up with a very dense number of playables. You also have to commit to a color at some point. Green ended up being really open, so green was a great choice. Red was not as open, but we ended up with enough red cards anyway. Alright, I think I'm going to really hone in on the oil theme here. I like the incubation sac. I think it's gonna make the cut. Yeah, I'm gonna see how much of an oil deck I can make, how much synergy I can pare down to here. Branch Blight Stalker. If I drop you, how many 2s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 drops. I've got 1. Along with other things I can also cast on 1, like a Skull Bomb and Reservoir. Yeah, alright. 3s. Let's see, if the Basilisk goes, it doesn't work with the oil theme. Plague Nurse doesn't work with the oil theme. Let's see where we're going. Atrocity doesn't work with the oil theme. Man, 4 more cards to cut. Okay, Paladin of Predation. I've got some really nice things to do here at the top end. I think the Engulfer is great at 6, and the Battle Chair gives us a great mana sink to use once we hit the 7 mana mark, which means I don't think we need the Paladin quite as much. Really trying to hone in on the oil theme here. Alright. Let's see. 17 creatures. In addition to those 17 creatures, there's a Battle Chair, which makes 18. Anything else like the Battle Chair? Incubation Sac, 19. Yeah. Could count it as multiple creatures, but it's just 1 card. So, 19 creatures. Churning Reservoir could maybe make creatures. 19 and a half. We got 19 and a half creatures. Alright. That's good. That's a nice, dense number of creatures. I don't think Thirsting Roots is that good of a card. I don't think it's so good we need to start cutting other things for it. I like Cultivator here. Works with the oil theme, gets pumped up by the Golem, ramps the mana. I do actually like the Free from Flesh here. Can make our Oil Gorger Trolls cheaper. No, just more likely to draw a card, not cheaper. Could make the Lattice Blade Mantis more threatening by a wide margin. Keep coming in as a 5/4 Vigilance, sort of. Or if we did it before the Centurion attacks, we can make something unable to block. There are some neat tricks we can do with this free from flash. I think maybe it stays. Canopy. Canopy doesn't seem that certain of a thing to me. Yeah, I really like to go dense with win conditions. The sure bets that win the game. So often the tricks and the removal, I start cutting. I get down to the things that really threaten the opponent. Now, I do like the Ruthless Predation here. I think it's a nice addition to the deck. But I have to cut something. Maybe the Skull Bomb? Maybe I don't need it as much. The Free From Flesh can't put counters on the Incubation Sac, but the Furnace Skull Bomb could. And that would be a really nice interaction. Of course, we have Churning Reservoir for that, and I would rather keep the Churning Reservoir. Maybe it is the Skull Bomb. Okay. I think I like this. I think I'm going to go with this. Alright, 40 cards. So we have 7 red pips and 15 green pips. Average mana value of 3.1. It's a little high, probably, for this format, but I'm going to go with it. Let's see, 7 to 15 in favor of green. Do I go with 8 and 9? Do I keep the Autonomous Furnace? Well, that's a question. There are times all the way up to the 7 mana mark where the Autonomous Furnace could trip up the game plan. I don't know if I like it. And if it's sitting around on the battlefield, you might be tempted to sacrifice it, and then not have the mana to play a 6-drop. Yeah, I don't think I like it here. And so much of the deck is green, like more than twice as much of the mana is green than red. I think I do a 7-10 split here. Alright. That's the deck. Alright, join me next time, where I will take this out into the wilds, play against the other players in the Quick Draft queue, and see how we do. Until then, stay cool.